10 300 games were rolled this week at the Brunswick Zone Hawthorne. We almost saw number 11 in our last match, Ken Samard, coming oh so close. Samard, though, in a hole here in the title match versus Wes Malott, down 23 as he's set to begin his fourth frame. Tomorrow night, an AFC South showdown in Houston. Two young running backs, Maurice Jones-Drew, the Jags, and Steve Slayton of the Texans. Battle 8:30 live on ESPN. Coverage begins 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown delivered by UPS. It was great to have Carmen Salvino here in the booth. It's time for you and I to really kind of focus back on to the bowling. And Ken Samard steps up in the fourth. Significant deficit he is facing, but it's very early. Curls in and not going to get the strike here.
And Kenny's going to keep inching further and farther left to try to get his ball to straighten out a little bit and not drift quite as high. But look at the adjustment he has to make in his form. It's just, again, it takes ability. Obviously, it's something that Kenny does quite often because his rev rate is so high, his bowling ball hooks a lot.
He had 10 opening strikes in his match versus Brad Angelo that he won 289-199.
Rob, right now the big thing that sticks out early on is the second frame when Ken Samard left the split. But he also missed all 3 pins, which takes his count and basically loses 4 pins. If he would have gotten 9 out, he would have had 19 in the first, 28 in the second, which would have kept him even, or it would have put him 1 pin up in count against Malott. But losing 4 pins like that due to a split could come back to haunt him.
There's a strike for Samard, who had an auspicious arrival in Chicago, driving up here. He was next to a transfer truck. He had a truck in front of him and like one of those F-50s, and then a car behind that, and then his car, and out of nowhere, car swerves. Something comes flying up out of nowhere, shattering the right side of his windshield. And he still hasn't had it fixed yet. One of those moments where, you know what, maybe I need to slow down, and I'm just happy to be alive and happy to bowl, and they've calmed him down this week. The far left, the feet of Wes Malott as he drops all 10.
And Wes Malott can drift around that ball return where Kenny's kind of standing in front of it. Remember, Wes Malott won here just 2 years ago. He said he's bowling his best this week, says his timing feels great.
Captured his second career title here in Vernon Hills. As we take a look at the Flomax weekly update, focusing in on Wes Malott.
And Wes has made the telecast in all 3 of the named championship patterns: Viper, Chameleon, and now Scorpion.
Be right.
Leaves the 10, but he is 0-2 on television this season.
When he really liked that shot out of his hand, when you yell "be right," that's usually a good sound, and you could see the weak 10 left because of the amount of friction that's being created. That ball just lost energy by the time it got to the 1-3 pocket.
Has the 4th best average of the season on the tour, 221.88. 3 times in match play this week, he bowled a 279.
Well, if you look at his last 9 games of match play in this tournament, 279, 261, 222, 279, 269, 279, 237, 195.
Where did that come from?
And 269. It's just sick numbers.
Samard in the 6th, down 23. Has only 3 strikes in this match. Trying to pair them together for the first time, and he does. So consecutive jacks for Samard. And I want to remind you, after this match, will be the Women's Series title match presented by the USBC. Michelle Feldman, who has become the Tiger Woods of female bowling this season, has just run through everybody, taking on Missy Bellander.
You could have said Lorena Ochoa or something.
That's true.
Just thought I'd throw that
Not
there.
Michelle Wee.
Not Michelle Wee.
Right.
Because Michelle Feldman actually wins.
Correct.
Check out the big giant mitt that he just crammed into this 16-pound bowling ball. Look out, pins.
Push.
He is having issues stringing the strikes together here. in the finals.
Boy, and this is a big shot, Rob, because this gets him right back into the match. He doesn't anticipate that lane is going to hook quite this much. Now, the next time on the left lane, Kenny Simard will take a giant step to the left. You may even see a little bit of what happened last season with Robert Smith. You may even start to see some lofting over the gutter cap.
So a spare in the 7th for Simard. Malott steps up. Wes has won 1 title in each of the last 3 seasons. And as we said, he won here and on this same oil pattern in the 06-07 season. He's been kind of stuck on that 1 win per season deal. You get the sense if he can make it to 2, that 3, 4, and 5 are not far behind.
Yeah, baby!
4th strike of the match.
It added a little loft to that shot, Rob, and what that does is it helps the lay hook. It helps the bowling ball retain a little bit more energy. And watch this ball face the pocket. And watch a little air time right here. A little bit further out on the lane that West, he can do it all. And he's proven his versatility by making multiple shows on different types of oil patterns. He can play in, he can play out. Right there, just a little more loft. And that's dead flush perfect.
Both of our finalists with 4 strikes here in the title match. We begin the 8th. Malott working on a strike.
And that's a really good shot with not a very good result, leaving the stone 9 on a strike when he could really put some serious heat on Kenny Simard. Watch this. The bowling ball is going to go right by the 9 pin. He's playing almost 6th there on the left. Ball goes right by it.
Simard has given Malott plenty of opportunities to close this one out, and Wes has not capitalized. Now, Simard spent the last match in front from the get-go, pulled away. It was hardly a match after about 5, 6 frames. This time, he's playing come-from-behind bowling.
Yeah, and that's the one thing you don't want to do is give yourself or give your opponent enough opportunities. You let him hang around long enough, sooner or later, they'll find a way to beat you.
Off a spare in the 7th. Here he is in the 8th, Ken Simard.
Oh, no.
He got away with that one.
And you're right. And he got a huge break. And again, you let your opponent hang around long enough. And sometimes this kind of stuff happens as you see that abbreviated approach. He says, oh, no, when he lets go of this. And then after that, he says, oh, yeah.
The native of Greenville, South Carolina, has never won a Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour title. 73 events bowled without a title, 7th longest streak among current exempt players. Drops them all in the 9th. That's the momentum he needed.
Yeah, and I think that strike right there is big trouble for Wes Malott. Now, keep in mind, no matter what Kenny Simard does in the 10th frame, he can't shut out Wes. But he knows that if he gets this hit here, he's in. Wes Malott can strike out to shoot 227, but he must strike in the 9th frame